Sometimes like when I buy the house, you can like see the weight come off their shoulders a little bit. Like, man, thank goodness I don't like anytime they can put something to bed in this situation, this highly, highly stressful situation makes the family, it makes it so much easier on them.
So two big points that I just caught. One is it's a referral source. Anytime I get a referral, it's so much easier to close than just a cold lead. And then two is you're catching them before the probate or inheritance. And one thing you probably didn't mention that I'm sure that you've seen is that when someone's selling a house, sometimes they have a certain, I can't remember, I don't know if it's Medicare or Medicaid, what it is, but
Look-back period.
Well, no, but sometimes they just have to sell the house to pay the bills of their care. And the family and the person who's selling is probably not going to get anything, right? Because it's going all into the care. And
That's
so
right.
in that respect, where if you inherit the property, like you said, there's 2 siblings or 5 siblings or whatever fighting over the equity. Whereas if you catch it early enough, it's probably going to the care of that person. And the price doesn't matter as much because they know they're probably going to liquidate all that money anyway. And then Medicare, I don't even know what kicks in, but something else kicks in that helps pay their care. Is that true and correct?
It's perfect. That's dead on. And so I call it morbid math. So remember how I used the analogy of mom having $2,800 a month pension, but the bill's $8,800 a month.
Mm-hmm.
So that $6,000 a month, if we knew exactly how long mom was going to live, it'd be easy to do the math. But since we don't, to answer your question, yeah, the kids aren't arguing. They just want as much in that pot for that $6,000 to come down each month. And then when it goes away, the state of fill in the blank kicks in. Right. And it's the thing, Tony, the kids know they're not getting this money, right? Nobody's mad at Nana because she fell down and has to move into senior living. Nobody's fighting over it. There's fighting going on, but it's usually over the stuff. The number one thing to care about right then is where is mom going to get the best care? And then how do we pay for it? And then what do we do with the stuff? Mm-hmm. And so I'm in that, how do we pay for it? And I fix the stuff problem. I use this in my coaching. I use this thing where I take a thing of 2,000 beans. They're like a solid bean. They're not cooked, but they're hard beans, and I pour it into a little, what represents a 12 by 14 room. You know, you're going from 2,000 square feet to a 144 square feet. The overwhelming problem is the stuff. These houses are just full of stuff, and then getting the logistics of the kids to come in and get, take their heirlooms, take their tchotchkes, what's right by, dad died 8 years ago. Mom's been doing the best she can. So she's trying to do right by everyone. And there's always, we haven't talked about this yet, there's always a most responsible child. There's that adult child out of the 4 or 5 that was put in charge, and the average child lives over 400 miles away. So usually this burden falls on the one that's still in town, that's been taking mom on the appointments, that's just been taking the brunt of it. And that's usually the one that tells the brothers and sisters, hey, there's something going on here. You need to pay attention. And of course, no one wants to think their mom's getting old, right? So there's that most responsible child is, I use the term being quartered. Do you ever see back in ancient times when they'd pull somebody with horses in 4 different directions? They'd pull them apart. That's the most responsible child, because they're being, their mom just got taken out of their home and put into senior living. They're usually cantankerous. The senior living community needs a bunch of paperwork and money. That's a hard thing to figure out. You got your brothers and sisters to deal with on what to do with the stuff. And then I call her Mary, by the way. So Mary, Mary's still married too. Mary's got a husband at home and kids, and like her life didn't stop. So she's being pulled in 4 different directions. Remember the analogy of them getting 3 pieces of bad news, and then they just heard from the realtor that the realtor wants us to rehab this place. When they meet me, I get to be, nope, things just got easier and better. And Mary, sometimes like when I buy the house, you can like see the weight come off their shoulders a little bit. Like, man, thank goodness I don't like anytime they can put something to bed in this situation, this highly, highly stressful situation makes the family, it makes it so much easier on them.